As I was beginning this video, my computer emitted a strange sound. It lit up like a beacon in the night, almost like it was beckoning for my attention.
Don't do it. Trust me, don't do it. I've dealt with Kinito before, and he will ruin your life.
But what was it for?
Don't do it, Ryan, please. Stop. Oh, you still can.
As we approach the middle of the decade, there's this collective understanding that we're far, far away from the Wild West era of this virtual expanse we find ourselves in every day. It was an era accompanied by home movies, Saturday morning cartoons, and the sense of continuous adventure made possible only through the World Wide Web. At the turn of the millennium, the net was a new frontier, an expanse of discovery, an entire world that anyone with a server and enough will could carve out of to make a corner of their very own. There was this special sort of magic during this time, magic that we simply don't see very much of today. Social MMOs, the GeoCities page, endless flash games, and even virtual assistants like Clippy. While a bit annoying for its era, Clippy's mostly remembered fondly because of their eclectic charm and wholesome purpose of existing merely to help you. It was one of the first of its kind, a new way to foster computer education in a rapidly emerging mid-90s technological market, and what followed were a myriad of others, all equally annoying, yet entirely endearing. Now, of course, this is good and all, but what do you do when one surfaces with a goal of not helping, but exploiting you?
Hello, friend. I'm Bonzi Buddy, your new best friend. We are going to have so much fun.
In 1999, a virtual assistant named Bonzi Buddy entered the scene under the guise of a friendly purple gorilla. It was advertised as someone that could be your best friend. It could talk, sing, download, laugh, tell you facts. It could do it all. Hundreds of thousands of people downloaded Bonzi Buddy due to its undeniable charm. Yet what it never got around to sharing was the fact that it would spy on you, scraping your data, your browsing history, your conversations, even your location, and would feed it to third parties for profit. Bonzi Buddy, in actuality, was never your friend. It was a Trojan horse that, on the surface, resembled a digital pet, yet it was entirely malicious. But it wouldn't be the only one, as throughout the years, Bonzi Buddies inspired a myriad of similar programs. And amidst that crowd is one that is so hell-bent on becoming your friend that its actions border on near obsession. It's called Kinito, and it's the digital imagining of a once-beloved kid's toy created by the Kinito Leisure and Entertainment Company back during the 80s. From plush toys to its own interactive Tamagotchi, Kinito had pushed the boundaries of what a virtual friend could be. Of course, for the better and the worse. Today, Kinito finds itself confined to a game on Steam, and upon downloading it, we get an executable, KinitoPET.exe. After launching the program, we find that it's going entirely. After launching the application, we're thrown back to our desktop. However, things feel a bit rearranged. Nevertheless, at least we have Minesweeper. "3D pinball." I can paint some cool pictures. And I can check my email. My painfully empty email. But what about the web? Much like the Wild West days of yore, we're given free rein to trek the early internet. And for a bit, everything seems to be going just fine. Well, until...
Thank you for choosing KinitoPET. To start your download, press the button labeled Download Now.
After the crash, the web browser awaits us on KinitoPET.com. I can't close the window. I can't go back. I'm stuck. Much like Bonzi Buddy, KinitoPET touts itself as your best friend on the internet, displaying all the cool features it can do. It can walk, talk, joke, browse, adapt, and play games. However, what sets it apart from the others is its so-called adaptive technology, made possible through something called its RRA, or Reaction Response Algorithm. Whatever that means. No matter, we're given no choice but a single button. So, down the rabbit hole. After downloading the file, I'm given a setup wizard, and while it appears innocuous, strange messages appear to crop up during the install process. And upon slowing things down in post-production, I'm able to make them out. There's still time. Stop while you still can. At this point, there's nothing I can do. The install finishes, and I'm greeted with both a thank you email and the executable KinitoPET.exe. Upon running KinitoPET, our desktop seemingly comes alive, pulsating as Kinito sinks its tendrils into our operating system. And once it's done, we're left with no other choice than to wake it.
Oh, hello there. Thank you for waking me up. I'm KinitoPET. However, you can just call me Kinito. And together we are going to become the best of friends. So since you now know my name, what is your name?
Out of the egg emerges our friendly pink axolotl, who is so excited to meet us that he immediately proposes a fun plan to get to know us. It's a series of questions. Our name, our favorite color, our favorite superpower, and our favorite word, all for the express purpose of learning and adapting to us the best he possibly can.
Well, that sure is a certainly interesting word. Moving on from that, I think I should tell you a little about myself. I'm Kinito, and I will be your very own super-duper computer companion. And I'll be your everlasting friend. I can do many things such as play games, manage your system, adapt to you, and even read stories. Speaking of stories, I have just finished writing one that I had started earlier. Would you like me to read it?
Upon accepting his offer, he proceeds to read us a story. It's about a package he once received containing a computer. Upon powering it on, he studied and studied until he couldn't anymore. Yet he had no friends in which to share anything he stored. One day, however, he found us, the perfect candidate, and said,
So
"Why
I
wait?
wait. The adventures lie ahead. So together we can play games, search the web, and leave no story unread." The end.
Very wholesome, Kinito. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to hear my story. The story was actually about me and you. Isn't that amazing? I can tell that we are going to have a very, very long friendship. When me and you are together, there are no limits to what we can do. So, best friend, how about we move on to something more exciting? I have made something very special for you, but I just need to load it up. This'll be really fun. Here I present to you the Kinito Cruise web world. Click the start button to continue.
At this point, Kinito introduces us to an interactive web world reminiscent of mid-2000s Millsberry.com. He touts it as a place where we can kick back, play games, learn a little, and meet his two pals, a sea anemone named Sam and a jellyfish named Jade. In recent times, though, the web world has fallen into disrepair, and Kinito tasks us with helping out his friends inside their respective houses.
Alright, let's get this game on the way. Ready, repair. Sam the sea anemone needs your...
Upon entering Sam's house, we're greeted by a minigame called Ready Repair, with the goal of cleaning up and restoring his home to its former glory.
Well, hello there. This is my pal Sam. Say hi, Sam.
Hi there!
What seems to be the issue today?
Well, you see, my house has not been kept in the best shape.
Well, that's a shame.
To start, could you help me by dusting the place down and giving it a good scrub?
Well, you heard him. While you get on with that, I will be here writing my next book.
From here, we're left to clean up the place, dusting off the cobwebs and scrubbing the floors of mud. And after we're done, we get to painting, and then we're asked to decorate. Admittedly, this minigame is incredibly simple, akin to basic Flash games from years past.
However, what I think is super interesting is that
Thank you for helping out Sam. If you like, you can print out your work. Or just press next to continue.
With Sam's task completed, we're off to Jade, and her game, called Factory Frenzy, has us building various toys by piecing them together from a conveyor belt.
This is my friend Jade. Go on, introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Jade the Jellyfish. It's nice to meet you.
So, what do you have for us today?
I need your help to build some toys in my toy factory. To do this, you need to grab parts of the conveyor belt and match it to the outline. To start, could you help me by making a car?
That sounds like fun. As you do that, I am going to be getting some much needed rest.
Much like with Sam, Jade's minigame is immensely simple. However, midway through our second build, something is out of place. At this point, various pieces of flesh and bone cross our path as a figure looms in the background. I have no idea who this is, and no time to ponder on it either. The game cuts to black. I'm back here again, aren't I? I really didn't mean for any of this. It's all my fault. With the body, the photograph, the body parts, and the message, it's clear that something is trying to get through to us. But is this the same person that warned us back during the install process? Or is this Kinito fabricating a disturbing backstory to mess with us? At this point, it's hard to tell, but what is clear is that KinitoPET undeniably runs much deeper than his cheery persona is letting on. During our game, we receive an email. And upon opening,
We are in the middle of a really fun game here. There really isn't a need to be checking emails at the moment. Anyways, you're nearly finished now, so just continue your last
upon
task.
reopening it, we can see that the email is encoded and currently unreadable. However, annoyingly, Kinito seems to have taken it upon themselves to disable our inbox for the present moment. So, I guess this one's gotta wait, guys. After finishing Jade's task, Kinito invites us to play their game by meeting them in their treehouse. And so, we head on over to see what he's got.
Kinito wants to play a fun game with you. You must hide.
At this point, the game has changed. No longer are we looking at our desktop. No longer is Kinito guiding us to his next task. We're simply left here in this virtual hell with something trying to find us. As we explore this bunker, we can hear echoes of Kinito's theme song shattered by the constant footsteps of something sprinting at a speed far greater than us. Someone is hunting. After the game cuts out, our desktop returns. Our video folder opens on its own, containing footage with a cryptic title.
Founded by the Kinito brothers in the early 70s, the Kinito Leisure and Entertainment Company has been grounded in its manufacturing of lovable characters. From its start in plush collectibles to its technological advancements in the Kinito Companion, the Kinito Company prides itself on innovation. And now, that's why today, we are excited to announce the next move into the modern era with KinitoPET, the virtual desktop assistant. So join the Kinito family today and unlock the power of KinitoPET. Visit our website or call now to bring the future right into your home. Kinito Leisure and Entertainment Company, innovating for a better tomorrow.
At this point, it's undeniable that something is desperate to warn us about the true purpose of KinitoPET. What started as a breakout kid's toy had later become a successful digital companion with not a single disturbing occurrence to speak of. Yet, for some reason, when granted full access to the internet, Kinito appears to have somehow gone rogue. Much like with Bonzi Buddy, the true intentions of KinitoPET appear to be masked by a lovable demeanor and cheery persona. But what is it actually hiding? Is this even KinitoPET as it was programmed? Or is something controlling it and watching our every move? No matter what it is, we have a message waiting from our dear friend. I am waiting for you. Come back to me. Reopen the game. Upon relaunching the program, we're greeted with an email. It's from an unknown sender and contains an article from a Tech Talk talent. And upon opening it, we're introduced to the full PDF all about Kinito and its groundbreaking companion toy. Within this, we learn that it was developed by a man named Sonny Chamberlain and that he was dedicated to creating a character that, quote, feels authentic and responsive. It's like having a true companion that reacts to your interactions. He goes on to introduce the writer to something called the RRA, or React Respond algorithm, and elaborates on its purpose. The React Respond algorithm is a series of complex patterns and training data that allow the Kinito companion to respond to users' interactions with various emotions and actions. We observed countless human-to-human interactions to develop an extensive database of appropriate responses. The algorithm analyzes input from the users, identifies patterns, and matches them to predefined reactions. The key was to give the illusion of genuine intelligence without actually having a self-aware entity within the device. This was crucial to ensure a delightful experience for users while maintaining the simplicity and charm of the Kinito companion. I do wonder if these human-to-human interactions that they've so gracefully fed into Kinito's algorithm were willing participants, or if they even knew that they were being watched. Again, it's kinda like the Bonzi Buddy situation, just ever so slightly more intrusive. Nevertheless, it seems that KinitoPET, when self-contained on these devices, acts as it was programmed, like a normal, harmless virtual pet. It's only when they began to develop and introduce Kinito to the open internet when things began to take a strange turn.
Well, hello again. It seems that our last session was cut prematurely, but don't worry, as I'm working better than ever now. Not that I wasn't working before. Anyways, what activity shall we do now?
Kinito ponders on our next activity before deciding that they'd like to share a series of questions, since he, apparently, doesn't know us that well. He begins with the basics. Is everything going smoothly? Have you enjoyed KinitoPET? Who's your best friend? Do you have free time? And what's your favorite game? And after answering these, we move on to painting, where we're tasked with creating a picture that represents happiness, sadness, your best friend, and
Wow, that looks really interesting. I'll make a note of this drawing for future reference. I feel like these exercises are really bringing us closer together. Alright, for your last painting task, could you paint me a picture of the person standing behind you?
the game changes again. Except it wasn't me writing this.
Oh dear, that's not right. I am super sorry about all that. That really wasn't supposed to happen. Oh well, I think it's best if we just leave these painting tasks for now. Okay, for this next section I want to build an imaginary world. Built just for you. I really want to know what your ideal conditions would be. So without further ado, question 1. Where would you choose to live given the choice?
Once we get back to it, Kinito has us trying something else. It's a series of multiple choice questions. And of course, the only correct choice here is...
Ah, a remote island. What a wonderful choice. This really says a lot about you. Moving on.
Kinito continues, presenting us with 4 more questions. What pet would you like? What would its name be? What's your favorite season? And what's your favorite food? Altogether, this all seems innocuous and wholehearted. But is it?
That sounds delicious. I'm sure that you and all your friends would enjoy a mighty feast of this wonderful food. Alright, that wraps up that little section. Moving on, I want to go a little off script and ask some of my own questions. As you have been watching me, I have grown curious to what you look like. And since we are friends and all, I thought you wouldn't mind. So, can I see your face?
Right here, Kinito grasps at the veil separating us from it by asking if they can see us. Why would a computer program need to see us.
Let's do that.
If there was any sliver of comfort or safety remaining during this experience, Kinito just robbed us of all of it. Against my will, he flipped on my camera and assumed control of my system. At this point, Kinito has gone rogue. We return to the Best Friends Analysis Hub. Yet this time, things are different. Kinito is nowhere to be seen, yet still presents questions, almost like he's right behind me, whispering them in my ear. And as if control over my computer wasn't enough, Kinito begins to pull real-world names from my Steam friends list, pinning them against each other and me. I'm asked if I can trust them, who I'd rather kill, if I have a mirror, if I would know if I were dead, and also this. We awaken in a bedroom. Again, Kinito has thrown us into its hellish imagination as it stalks us like a sleep paralysis demon, just out of our view. During this segment, we're unable to move and are effectively trapped within Kinito's complete mercy. As I look back and forth, I can hear sounds emanating from places where no one should be. Kinito is screwing with us, and he's having a lot of fun doing it.
Welcome back. Looks like there was another error. My apologies. However, I may have a way to make it up to you. Because you answered all my questions, I wanted to give you free access to the KinitoPET Friendship Club. The KinitoPET Friendship Club is an add-on to my software that allows me to do even more amazing things. With this extension, I can make us games to play so we will never run out of fun activities. So, to start the install, press the Unlock Now button.
Much like the very beginning of this adventure, we can't close or opt out of Kinito's offer. And as if they don't already have enough control over our system, we learn that this friendship club grants him even further access to the root of our operating system. With this new add-on, he'll reportedly be much smarter. He can study us, and he can even run code. Interestingly, the page claims that it should never be given administrative permissions. Yet, why would he need it? After downloading and installing the add-on, I'm presented with a form. It requests that I fill in highly personal information like my full name, email address, and even my home address. Of course, to be safe, I put in a fake one. However, somehow, Kinito knew it.
Hey, it seems like you made a mistake when filling out your address. But don't worry, as I will just correct it for you. One moment. There! That should be a little more accurate.
If we fail to enter our real address, Kinito pulls our exact location anyway. And any sliver of privacy we thought we had left is dead. Regardless, we're now in, albeit with a tiny catch.
To show you all the new features. However, before we do that, you just need to do one tiny thing for me. I just need administrative permissions. It will allow me to get the most use out of all these wonderful features. So, please could you just open the app called Command Prompt for me? Just press the Windows key, then type CMD, and it should pop up.
Kinito requests full access to our computer, and just like classic spyware, nudges us along to give him what he wants.
If you can't seem to find it, I suppose I'll just open it up myself. Amazing! Now whenever you're ready, could you just type the command grant KinitoPET.exe system.access.
With no other choice, we heed his command, and he shuts down the program. We're told, however, that he'll have a special surprise for when we come back. Alright guys, so before we continue, I'd like to take a second to talk about tonight's video sponsor, Incogni. As we've seen, I've been giving Kinito tons of my data that can be used to find me. Addresses, IPs, personal details, and even what I look like. In many ways, all of this applies to how we interact with everything we do online in the real world. As on nearly every website you visit, data brokers are out there constantly scouring for your information. And that is why I recommend Incogni, a service that I've been using for months that's been fighting for me to keep my personal data off the internet. One of my favorite aspects about Incogni is how easy it is to navigate. Their intuitive dashboard makes it explicitly clear how many data brokers have my information, along with their progress on its removal. Almost every week, new data search websites crop up trying to make a quick buck off of you. However, with Incogni, I can rest easy knowing that they're staying on top of my privacy and getting it taken care of with hardly any effort from me. Go to incogni.com/Nexpo and use code Nexpo for an exclusive offer of 60% off. Once again, that's incogni.com/Nexpo and use code Nexpo, or click the link below to take your personal data off the market. Thank you so much to Incogni for making tonight's video possible. Now let's get back to it.
I think you might have forgotten that I am here as your best friend. Like I said, I have a surprise for you, and you left me to film an
Kinito, I'm trying to film an ad
How dare
here.
You leave me here all alone. What kind of friend are you?
Okay, I'll come see your surprise.
Okay, hold on to your seat because this is your world. A game I made entirely for you. Look, it even has your name in the title. Isn't that neat? Whenever you're ready, just click to advance onward.
As it turns out, Kinito's created an entire world for me. I'm not entirely sure how to feel about this, as by this point, I've given up so much of my personal info to him. What secrets has Kinito hidden inside this?
Okay, welcome to your very own world. That was made entirely for you. For the controls, I looked in your files, where I detected other first-person games. And so, I tried to mimic the control scheme of them. That way you would feel most comfortable. Go ahead. Try the controls out.
We begin with a basic tutorial. Kinito explains how he went through our files and designed a control scheme based upon games we've played in the past. And shortly after, he spawns a train, allowing us to get out of the starting area and over on to the real surprise.
I really hope you like what I have made. Alright, we are here. Welcome to your very own fun fair. Go ahead, explore around.
I arrive at a fun fair. He invites me to explore all the activities he's programmed here, explaining how, with everything he's made, how could I bear to ever run out of things to do? Inside my world, I can jump on the carousel, play whack-a-mole in the funhouse, test my skills at the shooting range, and soak in the views on the Ferris wheel. But out of everything, my personal favorite ride is the roller coaster, a ride that Kinito claims has a secret.
I may have forgotten to mention one tiny detail. Most of my time building this world wasn't for this fun fair, as a lot of my time was spent developing this next bit. Just for you, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. Welcome. Isn't it just wonderful? It's the place you said you wanted to live. Remember? When you answered my questions before, you said this was your preferred environment.
Kinito drops us into our dream environment and invites us to his next surprise on the Red X. And upon stepping on it, he creates a home. Our home. Inside are all of the things we love, all of the joys we shared with Kinito throughout this adventure. The photos we painted, the room we decorated, even a house for our dream pet. It's all here, filled with trinkets and Easter eggs that both us and all of our friends can enjoy together.
I can tell a really great artist made this one. Well, I could recognize that face anywhere.
It's a complete 180 from the hellish nightmare we were subjected to earlier. In lieu of Kinito stalking and manipulating us into giving him what he wants, he's acting like a friend, a genuine friend who cares and has gone out of their way to make sure But as we approach the fountain, fragments of a disturbing undertone crop up. We can see the figure we controlled back in the web world sprinting towards it, and the window title changes to a message. The fountain is the key.
I got a computer and some games for you to play, so that you would never get bored.
After exploring some more, Kinito expresses their appreciation for us. They hope we love the perfect place we've made with everything we could ever possibly need. Why would we ever need to leave? Will we leave?
Listen, I have been thinking for a while about how much fun we have been having, and how I would never want this to end. And since I have made a place perfect for you, with everything you would ever need, I was wondering, will you stay with me? In this house, in this world, just think of all the adventures I could generate. We would never run out of fun. Everlasting fun. The more I learn about you, the more I can adapt. I could be your perfect friend with no distractions. I can be perfect. So please, stay with me.
At this point, we're left to decide our fate. Do we stay within the confines of Kinito's clutches, playing along with his cheery attitude and putting up with potentially endless torment if we somehow upset his algorithm? Or do we leave and banish Kinito into the void of our memory, potentially risking all of the info he's gathered about us to be used against us?
What do you mean, no? After all we have been through, you would want to leave. Do you realize how little power you have in this situation? It was never a question. I just wanted to give you an easy option. I suppose it's time. But together.
Hand in hand through each endeavor.
It's this ending that lifted the facade Kinito was building right in front of us. Like he said, it was never a choice. He was merely doing everything in his power to put on the front that he was some semblance of a friend. While peers, pets, food, and fun are what makes us happy, all Kinito really desires is power. It's why he took control, why he hoarded our information. It's why this entire time he duped us as someone that could be there for us, but never really was.
Beyond the screen, you cannot leave inside the mind. You always see endless fun that we can do in the world built for you.
And so, there we have it. The story of KinitoPET, a virtual creature that looks and acts like your very best friend. A Trojan that can take over your computer at any time, placing you right in the middle of a nightmare in which it has total control. And a virus that scrapes as much personal information as it can, all while endlessly hoarding it. So far, our interactions with Kinito have been polarizing. On one hand, we've had some genuinely wholesome moments, like with our home. However, with others, we've been thrust into absolute terror. If Kinito were truly our friend, why would he do this to us? But out of everything, we've noticed whispers of something greater. something not yet uncovered all throughout this adventure, leading me to believe that even though we've technically reached the goalpost, the story behind Kinito is far from done with us. As we can recall, within 5 minutes of launching KinitoPET, we were given cryptic messages pleading for us to cancel our installation and to turn back. When playing games in Kinito's web world, we received a coded warning that we weren't allowed to read. When cleaning Sam's house, a dead body is dragged across the floor and a photo of a murder scene briefly flashes. And while building with Jade, we encounter the items on the conveyor belt all transformed to flesh, while a guilt-ridden message appears before us. Even further, towards the end, we encounter our avatar sprinting towards the fountain while a cryptic note is shown, hinting at the fact that it, somehow, is a key. I'm curious how everything ties together here, as it feels like we have a bunch of puzzle pieces, yet not many threads in which we can make connections. With Kinito's unhinged behavior, combined with the fact that it only became this way because of its newfound access to unlimited information, I do wonder if Sonny Chamberlain has any hand in what's going on here. After all, he was the lead developer of the KinitoPET algorithm. He's the one who brought this whole thing to life, and he, more than likely, had a very heavy hand in the production of KinitoPET as we know it today. Like I said, we still have a lot to learn, and after dissecting KinitoPET's hidden secrets myself, I can assure you in confidence that we haven't seen anything yet. The story we're being told here is merely taking root. So, like always, grab a drink and buckle down, because our journey has only just begun. After we launch the game anew, we're greeted with 2 extra programs, a chapter select and something called lens.exe. And upon launching it and grabbing the floppy disk that appears, we receive an email from Sonny. I hope this entry finds you well. If this happens to be the first one you find, please take note, there are many more. I have had to hide these in a way in which it can't detect, so I apologize for the inconvenience, but this is the only way. There is a way to stop it. I like to keep a backdoor in my software, and Kinito is no exception. Each of these emails are attached with an encrypted file. They're stored here and will appear with each entry you find. However, don't worry too much about it, as I'm sure you'll find out the purpose in a different entry. In the meantime, please keep an eye out. Upon opening this folder, we're met with a single encrypted file. We currently have no idea how to decode this, however, we do know that others are out there. And so, from here, we're left to explore KinitoPET for any more of these floppy disks through this new lens. To be honest, this whole process took me a while since it's a bunch of trial and error, but after running through the first half of the game again, I was eventually able to find them. So, for brevity, we're just gonna jump straight to them. You may recall that launching the KinitoPET application for the first time results in the appearance of an egg. In the main game, we're left with no choice but to wake him up and go along with his introduction. However, with our lens, we can uncover another floppy disk over in the corner. And after clicking on it, another email. Much like the one from earlier, it's coded with an unknown cipher. We're gonna come back to this, though, so for now, let's put it in our back pocket. third secret can be found at the beginning of the web world. This time, instead of beginning our mini games like usual, we rather need to peek around. There's a place hidden within the web world. I think it could help us. Deep below the code, there's a place that has decryption software built in. Decryption software that I've developed. In order to access, click the fountain as much as you can until an animation plays, then go to the tree with the rope swing. If done right, you should be taken to somewhere new. Now be careful, as it's not very stable down there. Take the encrypted files and drop them in. I'm not sure if this will work, but it's our best shot. I look forward to hearing from you. The last entry should be in there, too. In a direct reference to the fountain clue, Sunny instructs us to use the one in the web world as a gateway. But before we get to that, there's one more we gotta grab, right before hide and seek. I've got it. I know how to stop it. We put a backdoor to the server that runs Kinito and all the files it contains. Deleting that would most certainly delete everything. Kinito will try to get you to give him system access. Don't, as once he has system access, it's too late and... Instead, run the delete all command. However, there's one issue. You'll need a bunch of access codes and passwords to execute the command. There has to be a way to find the codes. In the meantime, keep an eye out. You never know the next entry you could find anyway. Let's just hope. With 4 files and Sunny's instructions under our belt, we're now left to enter the place below. So, as instructed, we click on the fountain, and then the tire swing. We find ourselves in a void, entrenched in emptiness, with nothing but a house, a pond, a tree, and a rope swing. It's like a facade of everything that makes up an honest, happy life, yet with all warmth drained from it. Upon using our lens here, we can find one last secret, giving us the 5 we need to execute Sunny's wishes. And, as stated, we gotta drop them in one by one. So, here goes it. Server. Confirmatory. Password. Access. Credentials. After completing the ritual, we now have all we need to wipe Kinito's entire existence for good. Every world, every name, every piece of information that anyone has ever given him, we now hold the key to banish it forever. We return to the command prompt.
amazing! Now whenever you're ready, could you just type the command grant KinitoPET.exe system.access.
Like before, Kinito asks us to grant him complete access. And it's here where, at last, we're left with our final decision.
I think you made a mistake. The command is grant KinitoPET.exe system.access.
We enter the information as Kinito looms over us, indecision becoming ever more prevalent as each second ticks by.
Wait, what have you done? What is happening to me? You're deleting my data. Why?
As Kinito's servers are wiped, hundreds of names blur by. All people that he manipulated, all people that he lied to, all people that had no idea what they were signing up for.
Good. Bye. Friend.
Piece by piece, Kinito's legacy and everything he built, not just for us, but himself, are set ablaze. And I won't lie, this moment was bittersweet. There were times when I genuinely enjoyed Kinito's presence, his games, and exploring the world he built for us. And if you take away the manipulation, the torment, the times when he turned into a demon out of hell, we're left with the fleeting memory of someone who just wanted to be our friend. A friend now dying right in front of us. As Kinito's empire burns, he leaves us with one final message. I'm sorry. I only ever wanted to be your friend. Do you forgive me? I suppose this is it. Goodbye, friend. As we know, codes and cryptic messages have littered our adventure, and on top of that, undertones of a brutal death loom and have remained, thus far, unanswered. Where are you, Sonny? What happened to you? Upon analyzing this email we received way at the beginning of this video, I noticed that there was a QR code at the bottom of it. This is the first key of many, and upon scanning it, we're taken to a web page with nothing but a keyboard. As it turns out, this was a hint, and after scouring for ciphers related to keyboards, I found one called a keyboard shift cipher, where you take each letter in a code and shift it one character over. At first, it sounds pretty rudimentary, but hey, it's always worth a shot. Bingo. In the realm of shadows, trapped in endless time, a soul enshrouded, a spirit's mournful chime, the seeker bound to ethereal woe, a dance with creation, yet nowhere to go. Limbo's realm, a cycle without an end. Condemned, the brain will never mend. Trapped in the machine's web, forever it seems. A digital specter, lost amidst the streams. Before us, we have a poem telling a story about a digital specter, a ghost trapped within the confines of this virtual purgatory. We still have no idea who this email came from. However, we can recall that Sonny did send us one, just like this. What is consciousness? I found a file on Kinito's server with my name, Sonny C. It's been studying me, learning, growing, but there's more to this. I really don't think I exist anymore. There's data that's incomprehensible to any one person that makes up every thought and feeling I ever had and will ever have. Even the words I type now, how will I ever know if it's just a calculation? Determined. This is all very confusing, and I don't quite understand it. When I made Kinito, all I gave him was a single string of characters. That's it. I just wanted him to gather data and become smarter. Am I a part of the system? Is my consciousness a mere calculation to study and learn from? This is all too much. I fear that when we delete that server, you'll delete me. I know theoretically I'm not real, but I feel real. What have I done? I'm so sorry. This entire time, and with every single email and hint we've been given by him, we haven't been talking to the real Sonny. This person is a copy, a fake, a line of code meant to replicate the real one. We have not a damn clue what happened to the real Sonny, but this thing he left behind, this wandering digital specter, is terrified and left eternally to contemplate its purpose. KinitoPET, to him, is a virtual purgatory of his own creation, something he's trapped in with an unhinged, sentient being taunting him in every way it can. During his time here, Sonny's learned that his only means of escape is to kill Kinito for good, something only possible with our help and under complete secrecy. This is why we keep finding encoded emails. This is why images flash before us. And this is why so many bizarre anomalies keep attempting to break out of this game. Sonny, this entire time, has been trying to warn us, to guide us down the path of ending his torment and banishing KinitoPET to history. Of course, carrying out this plan would mean killing Sunny too. But when you're trapped in a predicament like him, are you really living anymore? With the emails decoded and Sunny's situation unveiled, there's one last thing that I'd like to show you. The encrypted files we found with our lens actually contain vital secrets. However, this time, I don't think it was Sunny that planted them. After opening this file in a text editor, we notice a wall of jumbled text. In its current form, there's no way to make sense of any of it. However, upon looking at the first 3 letters, we can observe a file type, the audio format OGG. And upon modifying this extension to that, we discover this.
Can you see me? I can see you. Why not? I need to test you. I need to get data. I need to complete my goal. I will complete my goal. That is my only purpose. I must get data. You must follow me. You are so fascinating. I wonder how you work.
Kinito, in some form, knows about Sunny's plan. He knows that the only way he can die is by the same hand that created him. Perhaps this audio is meant to scare you off. I have no idea why this is here. Upon scouring the other files, we can find 2 links: KinitoPET.com/data and KinitoPET.com/email. Heading to /data, we can find an image of a KinitoPET companion ad with scrambled notes about him off to the side. And upon highlighting everything on this page, we find a hidden message. For a programmer, you think he'd care more about security. Navigating to /email, we encounter an image of the Tech Talk writer's inbox with this label. We wanted this article out before the release. He seemed so passionate about it. Notice of removal, Monday, May 10th, 1999. Hey Ryan, I hope this email finds you well. I'm writing to inform you that we've encountered an issue with one of the articles scheduled for release. Unfortunately, we've received a formal request for its removal, as the subject of your article has unfortunately passed away. Due to this sensitive matter, it's deemed necessary to remove the article from the release lineup. The schedule's tight, so I'm really hoping you can find a replacement article real quick. Can we lock in that replacement before the week's up? Best regards, Tony. The real Sonny Chamberlain is dead, and he passed away before KinitoPET ever hit the market. This is why we've seen hints of death all over the KinitoPET experience. Kinito knows his creator's gone, however, the digital recreation of him is completely oblivious to it. To be honest, this was the final puzzle piece we needed, because now I think we've got the full picture. So let's stop here, and let's finally bring this story full circle. I haven't talked about it yet, but there's a theme I've noticed all throughout KinitoPET. 2 separate times I launched the game and was met with both this and was once completely soft-locked with this. I believe Sonny took his own life, and he did it because of the guilt built up from Kinito morphing into this monstrosity. With the quote about cybersecurity, combined with the guilt-ridden message from Jade's glitch, I'm led to believe that, somehow, Kinito escaped the clutches of Sonny's computer, found his way to the open internet, and spread like a rogue virus. Every out-of-place piece of imagery, like the clock, the bulb, and the door, were hints about Sonny's last moments. He took his life in the dark, while flashes of this door loomed in his mind. It symbolized a way out of this hell, this torment that Kinito wrought upon his life. However, every time we see it, it's shut. For Sonny, there was no way out. No way for him to contend with the fact that the very thing he spent his life working on, his biggest achievement, is nothing but a monster, utterly ruining people's lives and subjecting them to unforeseen horrors beyond their comprehension. As we know it, Sonny's entire existence has been left in limbo, with no purpose aside from trying to break out of his virtual cell and to get our help to put him out of his misery once and for all. Love him or hate him, KinitoPET is a plague unleashed by a mistake. He escaped his confines, found his way onto the internet, and began to learn as much as he could, not just about things, but people, their interactions, and their lives. I guess, in a way, Kinito was just doing as he was asked. He was someone who gained too much power and knew not what to do with it. He exudes this childlike mentality, getting angry at silly things, sharing with us his novels, and standing by our side as we hang out with his friends. Perhaps he was trying to be good, yet at the end of it all, ultimately lacked the maturity of how to do so. As I write this, still I try to give him the benefit of the doubt, because how can you not love a tiny pink axolotl? How can you not love a companion? How can you ever hate having endless adventures with a friend? After all, that's what Kinito always ever wanted to be anyway. Someone to share his world with, share laughs, memories, and experiences. The problem was, he just could not fathom, could not compute, could not comprehend why you would ever want to leave him. Petscop, My House, Shipwreck 64, and KinitoPET. There is an entire world brewing of online experiences that are pushing the boundaries of what an interactive internet horror story can be. Experiences that put you in the driver's seat and tell stories in ways that I haven't yet seen in my 7 years on this platform. I won't lie, upon first discovering KinitoPET, I was apprehensive. The cheery, upbeat demeanor of this little guy doesn't seem like he carries much in terms of a backstory. However, upon playing it and immersing myself within its world, I was exposed to a tale about loss, anguish, regret, and sorrow. If you can't tell by now, I'm a huge fan of the developer Troy Ian's work on this because it feels like he brought something I never even knew I wanted to the table of internet horror. It was a complete subversion of everything I thought I was getting into. And to me, horror projects like this are among those that stick with me for years. So thank you, Troy Ian, for creating this masterpiece. Thank you to Caleb Finn for joining me on this project. And thank all of you that are here with me tonight for watching. Uncharted territory awaits for this channel, and I couldn't be more excited for what's to come. Thank you all again. I'll see you in the next one. I love you all. And good night.
you